Black Moon.
Like and subscribe, Foolish Club Media. This is the Nightly Fix. Not the Nightly Fuck, sorry, the Nightly Fix.
Freudian slip. Look at you. Look at you.
Every single night, Monday through Thursday. You see Big Steve Serda, Big Osita in the building. Please, as we said to kick it off, like and subscribe if you do not. I hope you get shin splints just from walking, because that is a very painful injury, and you don't know it's that bad until you get shin splints. So I hope you do. Shout out to everybody out there who ain't getting shin splints. We appreciate you. Again, head to our YouTube channel, Foolish Club Media, like and subscribe, and get all the great content. Brian's World, to Beach Season, to Show and BK, to B Block Podcast, everything we got, and of course the Nightly Fix every single night right here on Foolish Club Media. Steve, welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Brian and Brandon held it down for you, and Brian had to do a white movie review that we tried.
Movie review.
No, we didn't do it like that. Remember, that's relegated.
Oh yeah,
we tried to do it.
Movie. White movie review. Yeah.
You try and
Hanson felt like the right thing to do today. To do it.
The problem was we didn't figure out like the cadence of the white movie, you know.
That was the best part, because I don't think we have the same cadence for Black Movie Review.
Not at all. I keep telling you it's Family Affair by Sly and the Family Stone, and you just
from the aspect of we are certainly not in harmony. We are really staggering this thing.
If you ever heard the song Family Affair, you would know exactly how I'm about to say.
The thing is, no, you do a roll your boat type of situation where you come in behind me. You come in behind me.
It is not a canon. It's not like a vocal canon. That's not what's happening.
okay.
That's not what's happening at all.
It is.
I'm sure we can work on that.
I don't think we need to. I think it's fantastic.
It's a little pitchy on your end.
Well, fuck you. All right, I'm gonna be a little pitchy, Randy. All right, what do you like?
I did have a wonderful weekend. Congratulations to Blake and Abby on getting married this past weekend. It was a wonderful ceremony in the West.
Shout out to Abby. You said Blake and Abby?
Yes.
And prayers out to Abby's father, who had a rough weekend, because had he hid to himself that his little girl had been fucking, he knew she was fucking like jackrabbits that night. He knew for a fact that she was getting taken to the woodshed by what's his name?
I don't know why we got to go there.
That's Aaron's sister, dude. That is Aaron's sister, and she watches the show.
And I know it's Aaron's sister.
That's wild,
I was
bro.
just trying to congratulate. I don't know why we got to go there.
Do we have Aaron's dad's name? We'll just call it Aaron and Abby's dad's name.
I'm not going to say it on
Aaron.
the show
now. Aaron, if you're listening, listen. The difference is Aaron and Abby's dad can look at Aaron and you and Serda being at that wedding together and say, well, that's a nice young man, and not have to go into guaranteed thoughts of what maybe old young Steve, clean face, can't grow a beard, but still sexy right down the eyes, kind of like a Knight Rider look. Steve Serda, like there's a thought. But
no, it's Ralph Macchio. You look like Ralph Macchio.
There's a bit of a Ralph Macchio there. There is.
Finally figured it out.
I've never gotten that.
But
Karate Kid.
But see, Aaron and Abby's dad knew what was happening that night. Aaron,
that's typically what happens on
I know it. And if you don't think that's on his mind, you're crazy. He's happy for but he knows, I know, and this is a big night. Like, you remember I told you remember when we were in the studio when the Houston Astros, oddly enough, won the first World Series. And you remember when Carlos Correa's now wife, girlfriend, he proposed to her after they won the World Series right then and there. And you saw the tongue that was stuck down her throat, and she was sticking the tongue down his throat. All I could do was pray for that girl's father, because he knows right there, watching that Carlos is taking her to Pound Town. Carlos is running her through and because he proposed with that ring on national TV and that tongue she let with, it's dealer's choice. It's Carlos's choice.
Okay. See, that's why.
And I'm just saying, I feel that way. The day that my daughter gets married, that's what I'll be thinking. Is
you gotta have a rowdy night the night before, though. That's what you got to do. You got to have a crazy, crazy Kama Sutra sex night the night before, and then so that night the pressure's off. You can just get drunk and have fun and hang out with your friends.
Off. That still doesn't do anything. They don't do anything for Aaron and Abby's dad.
It'll keep the dad on his toes, because he'll be thinking, oh man, I feel like they're having sex right now. But he'll be wrong, because we were fucking the night before. You know what I'm saying?
No. One day when you walk your little girl down the aisle, I'll make sure to send you a text to remind you.
No, it's going to be one of the worst days of my life. You don't have to send me the text.
All right, no, Stephen, because we're gonna whisper it in his ear. We're going to be there. We're gonna, hey, you know what's gonna happen like 5 hours from now? You know what's going on 5 hours from now?
If I can just be honest, you still have some roadblocks before you can be invited to the wedding. Steve has done enough.
Wow. Wow. The man who says he wants to be in my wedding is not going to allow me to go to his daughter's wedding.
I know. Listen, I know I'm not there yet. Osita, I know I've still got work to put in to get into.
Bro, you're
that
there.
Wedding.
You're there. You're with me. You're there. I don't know what kind of mental blocks you have.
I don't think you understand.
With me, you're there. You're there already.
I don't think you understand. I don't want it. I don't think you understand.
You already got a +1. Do you want chicken or steak?
I don't think you understand here. I don't want to just be invited. I want to roll, damn it. I want to roll in this thing. Okay, it's not good enough. Yeah, I know I'm invited to Serda's wedding. I've got to be top 5. Okay,
yeah.
I'm not asking for a lot. I know Steve's got a brother. I know he's got some good friends.
You also live in Houston now,
I don't give a flying fuck. I talk to you every. What are you, Houston? What are you talking about, asshole?
We fly.
You're gonna fly out. You're gonna fly out here regularly for all wedding obligations. One day?
I'm gonna. You think I've married? I've been in weddings with everyone that I've been in the same city as them in. What the hell are you talking about? What? Hold on. Time out, real quick. What wedding obligations do you think there is that I have to make multiple flights for?
I mean, there's lots of things. I had to go to lots of stuff leading up to this one.
Like what, Jack?
Well, that's because the
showers and parties and dinners and
Steve. What wedding shower as a groomsman did you go to in somebody's wedding? The hell are you talking?
I didn't have to do that stuff, but maybe other people's are different. I don't know.
Okay, you're not sure.
I don't know.
Are you telling me that you're going to have a wedding shower that I need to attend to? I don't think you know. I know what the deal is. I have been a groomsman. We've got the rehearsal dinner, and this is all happening in the same time of the wedding, so I will be there. We got a bachelor party. Oh yes, I will be there, and baby, that's it. Okay, I don't know what other things you're talking about. I'm in the top 4, you son of a bitch, and I don't know what else you're gonna do.
I'm not comfortable with the way you said, "Oh yeah," about the bachelor party. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah,
you went straight up Kool-Aid man on that, and that freaked me out.
Oh yeah, I'm looking to have a good time with my friend.
So, anyways, it was a beautiful wedding. We had a wonderful time
for most everyone.
Lots of drinks, lots of food, lots of celebration. Also, there's a small chance I stole $50 from a child today. That's something that happened as I was still working my way back.
Explain.
Normal.
Expound. I want to hear more.
You did what?
I want to hear more.
I just, so we drank enough at the wedding that it's been kind of like a 2-day thing where I'm still trying to climb back to normal. And today I went on a walk in 90-degree weather in Kansas City to sweat it out a little bit. And I'm a few blocks away from these kids who ride by on bicycles, and I turn the corner to, follow this normal path that I like to go on a walk sometimes. It's a few miles usually. And I see a $50 bill sitting on the ground. And so I picked it up and I looked around for a second, didn't see anybody there. And so I put it in my pocket and I walked away. And I do feel like one of those children probably dropped that $50 bill, but I took it and I bought dinner with it tonight.
Yeah, but it's not like that kid worked hard for the money. You know what I mean?
I'm sure his dad just gave it to him or something.
Like, why
is that what you're telling yourself? Bill? What if he cut fucking grass for that? What if that was his pay spot? Maybe he maybe cut several lawns. What if he did that? And you're telling yourself,
has a 50 I'm spot. Sure he might have smaller change.
I'm sure that kid's dad just gave it to him.
I mean, I don't know where that
kid's dad gave it to him.
I don't know where that kid lives. Like, he was riding a bike. I'm sure it wasn't right where I picked it up at. Well, what am I supposed to do? Go put it in the mailbox in front of the nearest house? Like, no, I looked around. There was nobody around. I waited for about 30 seconds. Then I put it in my pocket and I walked away.
No, that sounds like a blessing to me. That sounds like a blessing.
I'm not saying that you should go hunt him down or anything. I'm telling you, I would have done the same thing. However, I won't come on here and try to make myself look better about it by saying, "Oh, I'm sure he'll never miss that money," or "I'm sure his dad he's probably scouring all over the place for that damn 50 spot that he lost. That he had really good plans to go use that with."
He's like, "My dad's gonna fucking kill me. I lost $50."
It's a life lesson, but don't come through here and say, "Oh hell, man, that kid wasn't missing it. That kid was rich. That kid."
I also don't know if it was the kids. I mean, maybe somebody else dropped it.
Maybe someone else dropped it, and they were just they were riding by so fast on their bikes without looking at the world around them. They forgot a $50 bill. You know,
you did what you had to do. You just don't need to soften this made up blow to make yourself feel better. God, man, but I tell you what, you got rid of it quick, didn't you? Jesus, you spent money on it for dinner tonight. That fast, I didn't even say that a little bit.
I did. I thought about hanging on to it, but I just texted Aaron. I was like, I guess I'm buying dinner tonight. So
good man.
Took care of it.
Good man.
I got a triple from Culver's. Really went all out.
That's where you went. Huh?
Great man.
Culver's. Wow. I had that in a long time.
I've never had a triple before. It was too much. Culver's don't go down the triple path.
Culver's is one of those restaurants to me on my short list of if I ever were to get stuck and I had to gun to head only pick one fast food restaurant to eat for the rest of time, Culver's is on the short list.
I'm going to go Checkers.
Just because Checkers. Culver's is on the short list because of the variety. And maybe in this case, those bastards from Arby's who don't know who they are might be on the short list as well. But Culver's, man, Arby's. I just wish they'd know who they were. Okay. There's no damn reason that I should be able to get a turkey sandwich, a gyro, chicken fingers, chicken wings, roast beef sandwich, all of that shit all at once.
They have like barbecue sandwiches now.
Yes, they're gonna have ribs next.
Hey, maybe they like being a wild card. You know, everybody likes a wild card.
They definitely are. I feel like they're wasting a lot of money in inventory because I just feel like they got a bunch of shit just sit back in that back that ain't nobody eating. Because if you are possessed to go to Arby's to order a gyro, well, you're Satan. or take your ass somewhere and get you.
Better take your ass to a Mediterranean restaurant.
Man, come on, man.
Real.
Get you a euro. You roll through and say, that Arby's, man, give me a euro, some curly fries, and some honey mustard. That's what I live for right here.
Not even tzatziki sauce on the euro? That's wild. That's wild work, sir.
I imagine the people who roll through Arby's to get a euro may not know a whole lot about that tzatziki sauce. That's just my thoughts of it. See, my man Deion. My man, old Deion Sanders, has finally kind of bit back a little bit about his son. He went on that podcast with Ashanti Samuels, who basically, first off, those two had to handle a business between themselves because Deion talked freely about Ashanti and his time as a corner that Ashanti didn't like. But once they got past that, they did talk about Shedeur. As we know, Shedeur dropped to the 5th round. Obviously, we talked about that on this program. And but he's playing for the Browns, and it's going well thus far. But we know the narratives. Like, have you heard some of the? It's very, as I've compared to, very Eric Bieniemy like, to where it's like some of the shit that you're hearing that they are doing in these interviews are so outlandish to me that it is just wild to even just say the belief of, you know what? Yeah, I believe. And Deion said it, man. They were talking about my son went in there unprepared and that he was in there with headphones on. He went in there to disrespect with headphones. What kind of bull is that? Is what Deion was saying. This narrative they've created. Like that is like, for instance, I would just say Shedeur Sanders, and Serda, you have probably paid a little bit more attention to Shedeur Sanders in his time at Colorado. What would even give, like, here's some of the stories that he went in and just came into what is essentially an interview, fellas, and just came in with his Beats by Trey headphones and just had them on the whole time. While he was doing his meeting with the teams. Another one said that he took a FaceTime call in the middle of the interview. Just smack dab in the middle of the interview, my man picked up his phone and took a FaceTime call. Like, there's just some just outlandish stuff. I believe, like, if you tell me he was in there getting arrogant and all that, sure, I can see that. Overconfident to some, I can see that. But what in the world has convinced, because so many people just buy it and believe it, what in the world has convinced some of these people that Shedeur Sanders would walk into an interview process like that and be that level of unprofessional?
Well, I think, like, not even just like NFL people, but I do think that like NFL people are guilty of it just as much as fans are, which is like, I think analysts do this stuff too. Like, I think everybody does it, and especially NFL teams do it. But like, once you've already made up your mind about a person and you've already got prior opinions about who they are and what they do, then you look for any reason to be like, oh, see, I'm right. I'm backed up in that. I am validated in that personal opinion of this person. And I think a lot of people don't like Deion. And because a lot of people don't like Deion and they don't like the way Shedeur carried himself throughout college, then they've already made up their mind about him as a person and player. And I think a lot of NFL teams had already done that. I don't think it had anything to do with the draft profile. I don't think it had anything to do with interviews. I think there was lots of teams who had already made up their minds about him before we ever even got to the NFL draft.
But as you're saying that, people clearly have gotten to a space where they're like, you know what? I believe that son of a bitch did that.
But why? Okay, I understand in like any other case. Yeah, that is awful, terrible, subpar interviewing skills. But why? Because I'm a conspiracy theorist, like through and through. Why do you believe that that's a lie?
Oh, I don't. I think it would. First off, it would have been broken down, and we would have heard a lot more specifics about that from somebody. And it to me is just an over the top narrative that was created. No, I don't believe. I believe Deion, and I believe their camp when they say that he did not do. That is so over the top that, again, it would be reported, documented by, I'm talking Adam Schefter. I'm talking the top guys that, hey man, this guy was taking FaceTime calls during the interview process. That's so over the top. And but for me is that people would believe it. Like, people would hear it and just be like, you know what? He's arrogant. He's overconfident. Yeah. You know what, damn it, I think he would do that. I think Deion Sanders' kid would waltz in there and just sit through a whole interview with his headphones on. Like, I'm convinced myself, and that's my part, is what in the world has he done to make you sure and convinced when you hear that in your first thought process saying, like, hold on, now wait a minute. That seems a little, because it's the same thing with Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy, you would be convinced that the way people, how bad say he interviews, even though he has never shown anything when he's talked to the public, and he spoke every week, you would think he was in there in a wife beater doing lines of coke on the table and just cussing the whole time in those interviews, which is as bad as people. So he says he's a bad interview. You would think it like he's doing that with the way people have reacted to how bad his interviews are. And the same thing with Shedeur. I had no belief at all. How many football players in your mind do you think would go into that situation as bad as crazy? Antonio Brown, that's it. Like, Johnny Manziel wouldn't do that. Even Johnny Manziel, he did every drug under the sun. Johnny Manziel ain't coming into the office and putting his feet up and just saying, hey, y'all, what's going on? Like, I mean, they have convinced themselves that kid, the way he acts, he would do that.
I think there's probably is players who have had bad interviews of that nature before, where it seems disrespectful and things like that. And, and I don't necessarily believe the reports about Shedeur, because I think that, Deion, when he came into the NFL, like, he was kind of a new wave of player. Like, there had never been a guy who showboated the way that Deion did, who immediately when he got drafted, like, he was that guy at Florida State, and then coming into the league, like, he was that kind of player immediately, and it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, but he was such a special athlete that he was able to overcome it. Shedeur's not that kind of athlete necessarily, but also, like, it's super easy to believe that whether there's proof of this or not, whether there's like validity to any of it, we live in a world now where people just believe whatever they see online, and there's no fact checking or anything to double check that, because again, you have priors that you've already made up your mind about. So that now we live in a world where you get information catered to what your preferences are, as opposed to actually consuming things that are validated and verifiable truth. So lots of people just pick it up and run with it. There's dozens of social media accounts now that, like Dove Kleinman and all these other like garbage NFL accounts, that just post clickbait fake stuff that's not even accurate. And it's literally just to generate revenue and traction on social media, because they get paid on a per click basis now. Like, that's just the world that we live in. And it is frustrating, because that's why it's being even harder and harder to like be a reporter and find and like actually do like good work and fact checking and get access to things. Because when you are that person, also now we're seeing people like that lose access because they won't cater things and they won't doctor things the way that these people want them doctored. Like it's all about controlling narratives, and we see it happen like across everything. It's not just sports.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I could definitely see Shedeur Sanders doing something like that.
Why? Why? Like what?
Mostly because okay, so we talked about, when we were talking about Shedeur Sanders, we did talk about how the youth of today, how they do carry themselves a lot differently than people in the past did, and we talked about how you know, it's completely okay for them to carry themselves this way because they're just expressing themselves differently than we did back in the day, right? Uh, my day job, I see lots of kids in their 20s, lots of kids in their teens and 20s all day. And I could definitely see the headphone thing, like at least the headphone thing. Maybe not the FaceTime. I mean, depending on who it's from, what may or may not have happened, but I just don't see the reason to completely doubt that he might show up with like headphones on. I'm sure he showed up there with like, you know, a chain on or something like that, or I could just see it.
But Osita, a chain on and having headphones during an interview, like I think kids like do express themselves differently, and they have a more of a confidence thing, and it's not just. I think we moved from the part where they believe they deserve respect just as much as you deserve respect. But this right here is just what's going around. That's just blatant disregard and disrespect. To have headphones on during the time where people are trying to talk to you, I think that is just or FaceTiming. That's just blatant, just disrespect. I can get to a point where I can see in a process by how he may answer certain questions or carry himself that they may be turned off by that. But that stuff right there, Osita, is there's no confusion of turned off there. That's just that is no matter how you spin it. And for him to be that guy on the screen's kid, like Deion is like boastful and everything that Serda just talked about with him. He has got swagger. He is confident. But he ain't about disrespect. Like if you go and watch like some of the like they got you got to wear a jacket type rules over there at Colorado for kids. Like you can't bring certain things in. Like he's got there's a level of confidence. But that to me is no one would suspect that Peyton Manning walked into like if Peyton Manning went through the process and they were like, hey, Peyton, Peyton had the headphones during an interview and was FaceTiming. Like immediately, people would be like, "Oh, that ain't true."
Okay, could you not
ain't
see
true. But
could you not see a situation in which like maybe he had headphones on, but maybe they were around his neck? He had the headphones on before he got in there, but he wasn't actively wearing them. And then maybe in the middle of the meeting, he might have accidentally received a FaceTime, but didn't necessarily answer the FaceTime, and then that kind of through the grapevine, through hearsay, spun out to the point of, okay, he was wearing headphones and he was taking a FaceTime. He was taking phone calls. Like, I feel like it is totally possible for those things to happen. It might not have happened exactly as people say it, though.
Osita, those things were not reported in a way of it was an accident or, hey, he may have received a FaceTime but he didn't answer it. These things were leaked out saying that no, he was on during the interview with his headphones on while they were trying to talk to him, and that he was FaceTiming.
We all know how telephone goes. Telephone, you tell one person, another person tells another person, the next person tells another person, and then all of a sudden it spins out of control into like this completely.
I get all of that.
Not true narrative.
I get all of that, but the part that I'm really honing in, and you kind of brought yourself into it with this, is what has he done to make you automatically believe a story that would be generally outlandish, like generally over the top? To me, I guess to you it's not. To you, taking a FaceTime in the most important meeting that you have in your life up to this point, your job interview, taking a FaceTime, a call in it, or wearing headphones over your head, and you're that kid. I just want my thing is telephone or whatever. When that came up, how immediately so many people were like, "Yeah, I buy that shit."
Maybe it's just the hearsay of his arrogance and attitude, man.
I get that, but I'm just saying, like, does arrogance, your perceived arrogance or swagger, equal just blatant fuck you disrespect? Because it feels like it has with some people, and that part is interesting to me.
I mean, this is a perfectly good example of there's no second chance to make first impressions, and the first impression, obviously, that a lot of people have about this guy is that he does have that sort of that attitude or swagger, if you want to say it, and that has led him. Obviously, we saw throughout the draft to a point where, he got drafted way later than he thought he was going to get drafted, or way later than everyone thought he was going to get drafted. And now it's led him to a point where, people can say this, that, and the third about him, and it's actually believable because he did kind of come out of the gate with, a certain attitude.
A certain attitude. Yeah. To me, I think that's bullshit. I think you're correct in what you're saying. I think it's bullshit. I don't think his attitude or what he has done anything to exhibit that he would come in and take his dick out and pee all over an interview. Basically, that's basically what he's doing. Walk in, take
what do you think it is? What do you think it is then?
Oh, I think people have, as you said, blatantly, they will look at him and assume, oh, he acts a certain way. And I think over the top, his, as you said, attitude, take over the top his attitude or the way he is and march it to a whole nother level of things. Right. People will, I don't turn confidence / arrogance, questioning authority, not conforming to, yeah, man, that guy will blatantly do things to just hurt his career, hurt himself. He will come in and blatantly think he's like, I'm not saying there aren't athletes who have done that or people who aren't, like right now, if you told me Antonio Brown walked into a room and just absolutely self-sabotaged himself by just doing shit where like, fuck, I could do whatever the fuck I want, I believe that. Shedeur Sanders has not done anything to show, in my opinion, to show that. He's put a watch on his wrist and put it in a coach's face who was talking a lot of shit about him and his father. He's come out and tell you about himself and what it is. But like that, like, do I think he is an unprofessional kid? I don't. I don't think he is shown to be unprofessional. I think there are some people who, by the way he acts, turns that and makes that to themselves believe unprofessional, but it's not. I still think people would have heard Johnny Manziel would have said that Johnny Manziel did every fucking drug under the bus, went in college, drank everything. If they said, yeah, man, Johnny Manziel went in there, man, he was just taking phone calls in the middle of his interview while Andy Reid was trying to talk to him. I don't think people would just automatically be like, you know what? Yeah, Johnny would go in there and fuck it up like that. I don't think so. But we do with Shedeur. It looks like Osita does too. Damn you, man. Just in case those of you were wondering at home, Osita, who tried to lay claim to this, we tried to make sure we let everyone know he was joking. I think they did find the sick son of a bitch who made the threats towards Lance McCullers and his 5-year-old daughter.
What are you talking about? They didn't find me. I'm here. I'm chilling.
They said it was somebody overseas. And hopefully for Lance and his family, because Lance, it came out as a report last week that Lance McCullers went ahead and hired extra security because people have made threats on his child. Again, it's not Osita, or he would not be on this show anymore. I would be turning him in.
Or would I?
Yeah, I'd turn him in. It was a guy overseas that said he was intoxicated and he had good money on that game, and that when Lance blew that inning, it pissed him off so much, and he was so intoxicated that's when he took to making the threats that he made on Lance and his family.
Yeah. Well, it's always an excuse. Well, maybe shouldn't sports gamble if you can't deal with the loss. Nerd. Guy sounds like he sucks.
He sounds like he sucks. I know he does. Like that's like the drunk person who lashes out racial stuff. Oh shit, man, I was drunk. Oh, boss. That's when you're telling the truth. That's when you really show who you are. That's it. That's when you really show that's in your heart. The guy who beats up his girl and he's drunk. That's when you really show who you are, right then and there. No, that is one crazy deranged cat. Oh, I was drunk. Like, that's the deal. I get, like, how do you get from that? Like, we've been talking about leaps tonight. How do you get from, man, I am fucking hammered. Shit, I am pissed. He gave up 7 runs, got 1 out. By God, I'm going to threaten to kill his 5-year-old daughter. How do you make that leap? Damn it, that's more than fucking shots and Miller Lite or whatever it is you drink. That's more than that to take the leap from, damn it, I lost that. Now I'm going to threaten his child.
Well, I'll tell you how I got there. I got there because it was a long game. We were getting our ass whooped. As everybody knows that watches the show, I am sober. And, I started taking a couple shots. And I'm a cheap date now. I'm a super cheap date. So all it took was 3 shots. It was just 3. It was 1, 2, 3. And then my Twitter fingers started rambling, and I was like, you know what? I want him to know how pissed off I am,
Again, this dumbass is making this up. He's even leading it off by letting you know he's making this up by telling you it was a long game when it was not. Lance struggled and only got 1 out in the entire game. He did not make it out of the first inning, so it was not.
I know he didn't make it out of the first inning because they switched him, and then we we almost came back. That was the thing, because the final was like what, 8-11,
and again,
or 8-13, something like that.
A guy who is gambling for that type of money. That gets himself so hot that he's going to threaten people's children are not referring to, and they switched him. That's not the verbiage that person's using. That is really a better into baseball, into sports. They're not saying he switched him. No, you didn't. Stop it.
Look, I'll have you know that I went to a baseball game yesterday.
I saw pictures.
I know about baseball now. All right. All right.
I want to ask you something before you get to the heat check. He did go to the baseball game, folks. God love it if he knew what was going on, actually.
What?
Have you ever?
I can't follow the. Okay, what's up?
Have you ever been?
I really like the idea that Osita just knows baseball now.
I just know baseball.
He doesn't. He said switched it. No. Have you ever been to like an outdoor game, like outdoor ballpark, or the Astros the only one you've ever been?
Astros the only one I've ever been to. I want to go to Sugarland Skeeters, but I just haven't had the chance to go yet.
It is the hardest thing for me one of the hardest things for me to adjust to. I love the Daikin Park, Fun Ball
Yeah.
Park.
I hate that we changed the name, but I'm glad they put new AC units in there because it feels fucking amazing.
I hate, absolutely despise indoor baseball.
Not really.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
It's nothing the ballpark. It is the sounds of everything. Like the sounds is so. This is somebody, and I will admit, like Minute Maid now the Daikin. It was the first time I've been in indoor baseball. I had not gone to any domes or anything, and it was everything I've been to was outdoor baseball. Any ballparks I've been to, it is just so different. The sounds, and it always sounds like something's going and running. Like that's what it sounds like. It always sounds like something's running, and it's just a weird. Like everybody sounds like an echo all the time. I am not a fan of the sounds of indoor baseball. I want you to go to an outdoor game, and Sugarland may do it. They don't have 30,000 people, but I want you to go to an outdoor ballpark, a game to see if you can feel and hear the difference of.
Bruh, in this Houston Heat, I doubt it. In this Houston Heat, I highly doubt it.
That's the downside is that
I understand
baseball,
why they have
it's 100+ degrees outside, but it is the best part about going to see a baseball game live is like outdoor pop of the bat, like birds chirping, crowd, like that's like what makes baseball fun to me. And I don't even like baseball.
Well, I'll have you know, I was close enough to hear the pop of the bat and see what was that dude's name that got ejected from the last game? Do you know, Ron? He played for Tampa Bay. He got I don't know, he tapped the top of his like helmet 3 times or something like that, and the fucking umpire was like, "Yo, get out." Don't know what that was about, but I could hear him fucking flipping shit. It was hilarious to me.
Yeah, good close seats. No, dude. I understand why they have it, and I understand because it's 98 degrees. Sometimes they piss me off, man. It'd be 70, like 7 out there, and they still gonna keep that open.
Yeah,
and it makes me mad. But it is like you don't have to do it in Houston. Like get your ass to San Diego. Get to San Diego. Get to LA. Petco Park's probably the best park I've been to. Go to New York. Get you to Yankee Stadium.
Too. That's cool.
Like San Diego.
Petco Park is in San Diego. Go to New York or something. Like
that's weather I've ever experienced, man. San Diego.
God absolutely. Yeah. But do you like just chill the outdoor? The difference is, I can't explain what I felt like. I felt like I was in a tunnel. Is what it feels like. Indoor, it feels like I'm in a tunnel compared to what normal outdoor baseball is. Again, I understand why they do it, but I'm not a huge fan of it. All right, let's get.
We get it. You hate baseball, okay? We get it.
I don't hate baseball. I love baseball. You just don't know it.
Thankfully, Osita knows baseball now. So
I know baseball.
He knows baseball.
All right, so today I want to talk about the Patriots' new party boy. All right, Steven, can you go ahead and play the video? Here we have Stefon Diggs on a boat, on a yacht, with 3 beautiful women, and you can't necessarily hear what he's talking about, but he's saying, "What's my name?" And they say, "Daddy." He's like, "What's my name?" They're like, "Daddy." And then he has a little pink bag, a bag of little party favors that he decides to divvy up between the 3 ladies, and he says, "Don't do all of it. Now, make sure when you come back, there will be more, but just don't do all of it right now." Okay. And, the internet is flipping the fuck out because they're like, what's in the pink bag? Is he giving them drugs? Is he a drug dealer? Blah, blah, blah. But you know what? I think Stefon Diggs is trying to bring the party bag etiquette, and you guys aren't ready for that level of class or great hosting. Okay. He's on a yacht with 3 beautiful women. And let's be real, while everyone's clutching their pearls over this mysterious pink powder, Stefon Diggs is out here hosting the fucking Catalina wine mixer with top-notch party favors. All right. Definitely bringing a new meaning to the term yacht rock. All right. So you can hear him say, "Don't take too much, bring it back." That's not drug dealer talk, okay? That's street pharmacological lexicon, okay? Let's be clear about this. It's very, very classy, very, very great. All right. This wasn't a drug deal. It was a small batch artisanal tasting menu. All right. You think he risked his NFL contract for a Pepto-Bismol pixie stick? No, this was ceremonial. This was tradition. This was powdered pink vibe insurance. All right. And while the NFL hides behind the no comment, I know, right? While the NFL hides behind no comment, you already know Roger Goodell is texting his group chat like, yo, where can I get some? The media's freaking out. Patriots insiders are talking about releasing him. It's like, for what? For bringing charisma, mystery, and cherry-cluggered wildness to an otherwise predictable offseason? Let's be honest. The real scandal isn't the pink powder. It's that not a single person on that boat looked at all disappointed. All right? Even Cardi B, who's allegedly annoyed, is probably still asked, yo, what flavor is it? Look, here's the truth, all right? Stefon Diggs didn't break the NFL's code of conduct. He broke the code of boring. And I salute him for keeping the party alive. Thank you.
There's so much here. There's so much here. One, my man here believes that Shedeur Sanders would go into those interviews and do that. But hey, shoot, man, what the hell with the Patriots? What are the Patriots thinking here? What are they thinking? Why would anybody want it? Why would anybody? You want him to go up? He's bringing charisma, is what you said. He's bringing charisma with pink stuff.
And he has always been that dude. There was when he played for the Vikings, there was like the team put out like a locker room interview thing where they went around to everybody and they were like, which guy would you not like want to date
your sister? Yeah.
And literally everyone was like, Diggs, Stefon Diggs.
And there's a couple of things here. One, I will just say this. There was one of those young ladies that was formerly really my style. It was the one that I would really take for the team.
Bottom right?
I would take that one for the team.
Bottom right.
I would take that one for the team.
Bottom right's all you, baby. Yeah.
And in the words of Josh Vernier, it is not taking one for the team if that's your preference. And I'm just saying, I would have been in my heyday. I would have been the guy that said, "All right, guys, here, I'll take it. Listen, you guys work as others. I'll take Nancy." But the other one is, I mean, he's fucked this damn Cardi B thing up before it even got started.
Oh,
I mean, this is over. I mean, what?
That's the thing that's ridiculous about all this. He blew that, and now he is being exiled to play for the New England Patriots, and he's at the tail end of his career, coming off of an ACL injury, and like it's over for Stefon.
That's what I'm saying. Let the man party. Let him party.
But he had a second chance with Cardi. Like there was something that could have come from that.
Look.
He had a chance to run game.
As we already spoke on before, I am not there in my life where I feel like I can date a woman with kids, and she's got a kid with Offset. Fucking Offset.
Now maybe he found out something where she didn't ran back or something, because I don't know if I really buy that they're really done forever. But damn, man, this is like, we see y'all at the Knicks game, and now you're going to embarrass her with, which I'm probably thinking in her mind, she's thinking those two girls, and then at Chubby Chaser is probably what she's probably saying to herself, which is unfair because I think that young lady is beautiful. But he has just completely fucked this up. Travis wouldn't have been caught dead doing this. They would have caught Kelsey with three broads, and then he embarrassed Taylor like that. Certainly wouldn't be on video.
Best part is that Cardi B has a song. I don't know if you ever really listened to her music before. She has a song called "Be Careful with Me." It was on the radio for a little bit. It is pretty much about how if you break her heart, she will fuck you up. She will fuck. If not her homeboys, her brothers, her dad, like everybody in her life will fuck you up.
You know how much it took for her to go public with this thing at Madison Square Garden? by the way, it's going downhill for the Knicks since. Like, do you? I mean,
Hell yeah, it
geez.
has. Hell yeah, it has. Osita,
Damn,
Big O,
this
official
up, man.
member of the Halley Band. The Halley Band. You know what I'm saying? My boy Tyrese finna kill it. Finna get him.
Yeah.
Pacers in 5, baby. Pacers in 5.
Yeah. They are minus 700, by the way. Which is, this is one
I
of
think the Thunder are gonna dominate this thing.
I don't know, man.
Hey, don't sleep on the light-skinned God, all right? Don't sit here and doubt him. Because when he comes through, y'all just mad. Y'all mad at because everybody's hating on him now. NBA has a new heel. You know what I mean? They have a new heel, and his name's
I'm not mad, and I think the country's gonna fall in love and start going for him, even though he is the greatest, the bigger of the assholes. But I will just say, SGA has been in his coffin, and he is going to be well rested when he wakes up out of that thing and opens up that door, and he's going to get the rest of that blood from the rest of those Pacers. I think he's going to start with Siakam. Siakam looks like a guy that he's primed to take the blood from. He looks like he wants to take Pascal Siakam's blood.
By the way, I believe Sinners drops on digital this week. So it's not a coincidence that it coincides with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander entering the NBA Finals.
By the way, digital, they was playing it at the barbershop 2 weeks ago when I went in.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. I miss the bootleg days of the barbershop. Like, I've been going to the same barber since I was 9. Shut up, Ron. I've been going to the same barber since I was 9. And back when I was a kid, shut up, Ron, when I went to the barber, the guy used to come up with, like, bootleg DVDs and bootleg tapes and all this stuff. It started out with VHS and then turned into DVDs and turned into Blu-rays, as they went on with the technology. And I remember asking him when I went there not too long ago, shut up, Ron, whether or not the bootleg guy still comes through. And he was like, I don't need bootleg. I got a Fire Stick, baby. I'm all good. I was like, you're right. Got the bootleg Fire Stick.
Yeah,
that's all we need.
He had that Fire Stick in there. Yep. Yeah. Everybody had hair on the top at that barbershop I was in.
Ron,
I don't know how many bald heads were being worked on there, but
next time I see you, I'm punching you in the calf.
I'm not saying we don't have
punching you in the calf. Whether or not you're on air, I don't care if you're on air. I'm going to come into the studio or wherever you're working. I'm going to punch you in the calf. All right, I'm going to give you a nice little Charlie horse.
I mean, you still gotta clean it up, right? Like you used to.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, Steven. Yes, I do. Yeah. I have to clean it up.
Yeah. He can do that himself. But really, his beard lineup game, I get that. He's left a lot to be desired when he does that himself. But he does. Wherever he goes to is clean.
Sir, you've never even seen me do my own beard, so I don't even know why the fuck you're talking shit right now. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What's going on?
I can do with my beard.
I do feel like that's because, like, I was always somebody that was like, don't spend a lot of money on a haircut or whatever. And now, with the flow that I got going on right now, I was spending a lot more money on haircuts.
This motherfucker said the flow.
Is that what we're calling now?
I mean, it's flowing.
Okay, Ramacchio. Okay, Karate Kid.
It costs a lot more. Like now, I gotta get the $60 haircuts now, so they look good.
Oh my god! You just bring it. Speaking of the Pacers and the Knicks well, I thought they was gonna have a chance.
And the what?
Till the Knicks, and I thought they was gonna have a chance till about
another Freudian slip. I see. That's cool. Whatever.
I said the Knicks.
We can roll the tape back.
We can. Until about that third quarter, then it was just over. But inside the NBA ended. At least on TNT, they didn't really end. They're gonna just do everything. Literally, they're gonna do everything they've done. It's just gonna be on ESPN. And ESPN, Serda, I know you're nerding out on stuff like this. They are going to have to conform and change their break patterns because inside the NBA is going to film it and do it how they do it. And they're just going to have to deal with their break patterns like they did with Pat McAfee. And so they are taking over. They're going to do the pregame, postgame. So who knows what's happening to Big Perk and Stephen A. and the rest of those guys that they have tried to make work in 57 different categories. I mean, the amount of people they have tried to make work in the 8 years. For 25 years, it was Ernie, Kenny, and then it was Charles. And then Shaq came, and for like the last 17 years, it's been those guys. Over there, it's been Michael Wilbon, Magic Johnson, Bill Simmons, Stephen A., Kendrick Perkins, Jay Williams, Adrian Wojnarowski, Bob Myers. I mean, they have tried so many different groups, and now they all been kicked to the side, and it's just going to be inside the NBA.
And Perkins will just be banished to First Take and Get Up where he belongs with his awful takes. And
this is not
Stephen A. will still probably just be on everything, or they'll wind up having to sit up until Scott Van Pelt comes on SportsCenter afterwards and go do 20 minutes with Scott Van Pelt live on SportsCenter or something.
This was not an avenue, Serda, for you to just come out and take personal shots at Kendrick Perkins. Like this thing, this deal.
It's Serda's platform. If he feels a way about Kenny Perkins, he is free to share his feelings.
I like Kenny Perkins.
I'm here
too.
for it.
I like that.
I do too. I like that.
Perkins. Change it to Kenny Perkins. Oh,
Kenny Perkins.
Kenny Perkins. By the way, I'm watching it. I know. I was watching this. I talked about this all day. I know Shaq pissed off Ernie Johnson. Oh, I know Shaq pissed off Ernie Johnson at the end. Like you can tell, this is the last block. They're saying goodbye on TNT, and they all went through, right? Let's get down and let's get this. Let's everybody give their thoughts. And they started with Shaq. And then Shaq just started cussing all over TNT because he said it's the last night. So he said, we're going over there and we ain't taking fucking nothing from anybody. We're taking the fuck over. He's just cussing on TNT. Then he went to Kenny. Naturally, Kenny started cussing as well. And then both of them cut some sort of a promo to let everybody know at ESPN we ain't coming to fuck around. It's exactly what they said. then it was left to Charles to be the one to leave with grace. And so it's Shaq, Kenny, Charles, and then Ernie. Ernie has been, what year were you two born?
91.
89.
Ernie has been with TNT since 1989. That's when he started at Turner. He has been with TNT since 1989. He was going to send this thing off, and he gave a heartfelt commentary. You can tell he was quivering. He was starting to cry, and he had the perfect send-off. The music is playing, and he said, and I'm just so happy to say for one more time, this is the NBA on TNT. And right, you're drawing it up. This is how it fades to black. No, that big bastard couldn't just let him have it. Here comes Shaq rolling through after he goes, and for the last time, the NBA on TNT. All right, but one last thing, y'all. Grab y'all mics and do the mic drop. And Kenny was the only one who did it with him to make him not feel alone. And I just saw Ernie turn his chair, was a spinning chair. He turned his back to the Shaq part of it and got up. And just the look on his face, and I know it was probably a second and a half, but the look on his face was, you couldn't even let me have that one.
Yeah.
You couldn't even let me have that one. I mean, it was perfect. I rewound it. I said, that selfish bastard. Why did he?
Very typical Shaq behavior.
He could have just dropped the mic. He could have. Charles was looking at him like, what? I mean, it was perfect. They're doing the music, and he said, and one last time, the NBA on TNT. And then he comes. You're mixing it up. You're doing NBC. You're doing
Oh, my
NBC.
bad.
You're mixing it up. That is coming soon. And that fool came through and said, "Hold up, and one last thing." I just said, "Damn, man, what the hell? You just fucked that up." My goodness, alive, yeah. Shout out to them, man. They did their thing. The doc that they did a season long, where they followed them the whole year. Their last year, it was pretty good. Shaq, man, Charles, man, he's got that old school humor that that you could tell everybody laughs at. That one lady came in, she's the makeup lady. He said to her, "Ooh, look like you've gained a couple of jean sizes." I just said, shit. Shit, man. Damn, man. You can't say that to no woman. And she hit him in the head, busted out laughing with him. He said, "Ooh, wow, good to see you. Boy, you look like you've gained 2 more jean sizes since the last time I saw you." I said, Jesus. God Lord. All right, take us home.
All right, look, guys, usually I would take you home, but right now I got to tell you, I'm really sick and tired of doing this, and I really don't want to tell the story anymore. But Bronchi